killing of innocent people. I mean, it has to stop.
All right. Moving on now. 2 days after the extension of the Naira swap deadline lapsed, Nigerians continue to use old Naira notes to transact businesses. Banks are still crowded by Nigerians as both old and new notes are scarce. Kaduna, Kogi, and Zamfara states had in an ex-parte motion filed on the 3rd of February prayed the apex court to halt the CBN Naira redesign policy. The governors of Kano and Ondo have also filed cases against the federal government at the apex court. Judy, my own example, on Friday, I went to Airport Hotel. So I got to the reception. I needed a bottle of water, and I paid with the old notes. It was 250 naira, and I paid with the old note. And the woman there told me that the management of that hotel had stopped them from that day. Stop collecting them. And some supermarkets around, we have this conflict. The situation is very. So some people are saying that we're waiting Wednesday when the Supreme Court will adjudicate fully on this. But I know that in the CBN Act is also a crime when you don't accept that legal tender.
Yes, legal. But some banks have also refused to take old notes from people, believing that the CBN, the CBN's directive is superior to the order of the Supreme Court. There are so many responsible people just doing what they like in our country without caring about what the ordinary man is going through. Why would a bank, having been told or acutely aware that the apex court told the CBN to stay action on a matter,
to maintain the status
quo, you still chose to obey what the CBN, the directive of the CBN. So to what end is this nonsense? To what end? Our nation is governed by laws. Our nation is governed by laws. And the CBN itself is a product of the law. Because the CBN is a product of the law, the CBN governor cannot be above the law. So if the apex court says stay action, the banks in our country ought to respect that. Whatever it is, whatever was the decision earlier made by the CBN, the decision of the apex court supersedes that. Maybe some of them were reading the one opinion. Yes, that somebody. Some of these people are not even in our country. They do not feel the pain of our people. But they will sit down and write all kinds. Oh, that is immaterial. Supreme Court judgment immaterial in our country.
Even the Attorney General has said that they are going to comply.
Because he has no choice. He has no choice. He is the chief law officer of our country, and he knows what it is. If he does anything to the contrary, they can take his son away from him. We've seen an Attorney General of our country lose his sonship in this same country. Because you will leave that position now. Malami will leave that position very soon.
5 months.
People can count the days now. He will leave, but he will return to his first love as a lawyer.
And he could be the rope.
And he must subject himself. He is responsible to the regulators of the profession that he has found himself. So he knows too that he has to weigh his actions. So I was not surprised when it came out. Why would people expect that an Attorney General will come out and say no, that we are not obeying the Supreme Court?
That's anarchy.
There are some Nigerians who are even pushing that Buhari should come up with executive order. I said, what's going on? What kind of people are we dealing with here? We are talking about pains that people are going through, and you are trying to nudge the president, push the president to take actions that will destroy his own legacy. I mean, this is what it is. Now, more and more states are suing. We've seen Niger. Niger said, look, reverse this decision. Ondo State is saying it is an affront on our fundamental rights for you to say, no, we cannot spend, we can't withdraw more than this and that. And in the suit, the state government is saying there are more than 3 million people in Ondo State, but less than 500,000 have bank accounts. And that the pain. Now, those two court cases filed by Ondo and Niger, they are focused on the pains that our people are going through. They are saying, look, these pains have to go on. I mean, how to end. The people are going through a lot. The economy in their states is taking a beating as a result of this. So it's not even, they are not, it's not similar to what Kano and others, because Kano, the governor is saying that Mr. President has not got the power to unilaterally direct the CBN governor to take the steps that he has taken, that he ought to have first conferred with the National Economic Council and the Federal Executive Council. So that's the main kernel of the case filed by Kano. But I'm saying that these two other, in fact, the Ondo suit, they are asking for extension, that the CBN should be directed to extend. But Akiti's state is focusing on the pains inflicted on the people and the taking away of their rights to withdraw money as much as they would love to withdraw. So the state is saying that there is a law against money laundering already. Does this one not conflict with the law against money laundering? And that if the court can establish that the directive from the CBN contradicts the law against money laundering, then the policy should be set aside.
Chidi is calling us from Kafanchan. That's Kaduna State. Hello, Chidi.
Good afternoon, Ayode.
Yes, go ahead.
Good afternoon, my good friend BKO.
Good afternoon.
I want to greet everybody in the studio this afternoon.
Thank you, Chidi.
Thank you.
My simple contribution has to do with about Nigeria's fiscal policy, which the Supreme Court has given a ruling over. It is my vision and expectation that Nigerians across board will have to obey and with the ruling of the Supreme Court concerning the fiscal policy. The CBN, as you have rightly said, sir, is a part of the law and therefore should be subjected to the rule of law. Then the human beings, that is ourselves, that are using this money we are talking about should as well obey the decision of the Supreme Court as far as this money is concerned. If you go across the hinterlands and all over the places, a lot of people are rejecting the old Naira notes, which is against what the law has said. Thank you very much. I want you to encourage Nigerians.
Thank you. The governor of Zamfara has even ordered the arrest of anybody found not rejecting the old currency.
Because how would you want to make a policy that apparently wants to check it 24 hours, 36 hours, oh, this thing, we failed, it's not working, or it did not work the way we wanted it, because all this story of we don't have the capacity to print enough Naira that I started reading later, and I said, so why the deadline?
Well, I think the CBN didn't do enough research before coming up with this policy. And I think from the fillers we are seeing now, the reasons given by the CBN to fight corruption, electoral malpractices, security, those reasons have fallen like a pack of cards. When people spoke about corruption, I said, look, the CBN governor, when the APC was selling forms for 100 million Naira, he bought it. He said rice growers raised the money. If if you are somebody that is conscious about fiscal policy, should you bring the CBN to that kind of level? The CBN did not issue a single statement. And at that time, we saw a lot of new cars said to be bought for this campaign at a time that people cannot afford forex, manufacturers could not get forex to buy. Then people printed vehicles being imported from abroad. So what kind of CBN governor are you? You said elections. Are you saying that during elections, parties don't need money? I go for elections at home. I need money. I want to go home with, stay with my friends. I need to fuel my car. INEC has faulted that most of their ad hoc workers, they need to give them cash. And CBN admitted. So you didn't take that into consideration when you came out with this policy.
Even the armed forces.
Even the armed forces, they all need cash. Ondo said it has about 149 ministries and agencies with thousands of people that they depend on cash. And then you are talking about security. The same people that are kidnapping people, we are seeing them with new notes. What is the business of somebody who kidnaps where we are going to get the money? You're only imposing extra responsibility on the victims of kidnapping. It's not the business of these people when they kidnap you, whether you get the money or not. They will just tell you, go and bring 1 million. It's not left for you, and you are going to raise the money.
Maybe they collected dollars from train passengers.
So I think all these ones are just cover-ups. There is a conscious plan, in my own reading, to bring CBN to electoral politics. And I think it is not fair. It's not going to, because sometimes when you come out with certain policies, you are not conscious of the consequences. Last week, I bought something from someone. I was deputed. He was not deputed. But on self-recognition, he said, okay, I should not worry. I should just go, anytime I have money, I should come and pay back. Then I should start going back to my bank. For how long? And many people are doing transfers. The transfers are not going. People are traveling on highways. They want to buy fuel. Transfers are not going. They don't have cash. You have brought, in fact, unimaginable mystery on the human population. And I really wonder if people of conscience should talk to the CBN that you need to think of the majority of the people.
You should talk to the president.
To the president too, that they should do the right thing. People are sovereign. People have money, they cannot collect the money.
Yes.
Jide, and it seems we like to abuse things. In fact that, for that fact that we've established that CBN, we want CBN to be autonomous from the Ministry of Finance so that they can work effectively. Now, it's as if we built a kind of behemoth that we cannot control again. I think the National Assembly should be thinking of looking at this act again.
Yes,
because
if they know what they are doing.
The CBN governor like a Superman.
No, he's even a CBN governor who thinks that it's only the president that is accountable to. That is not accountable to Nigerians. So if he wants to take action now, he will first go to Naira to meet the president. Even that is a negation of the autonomy.
Yeah.
Kowtowing the president, going to meet the president, it should not be what a CBN governor should be doing. But a CBN governor must be able to implement his policies competently in a manner that will not impose so much misery. Look at what we are talking about. Nigerians rushed to put their money in the banks. He was happy to announce in Naira that we now have 2.7 trillion. You now have 2.7 trillion. You mopped up the money. And you knew in your heart, that you do not have capacity. You knew in your heart that you do not have capacity, but because you do not respect Nigerians, you then decided, okay, I think Governor El-Rufai said he actually printed currency worth 300 billion. Some have told me it's actually 400 billion. Now, 400 billion
doesn't make it
compared to 2.7 trillion
that you withdrew from the this mathematics.
Now those people who have their money in the banks, they cannot withdraw. You first said that they should not even give people money to tell you that the people in the CBN, that they are completely lost, completely oblivious of the reality on ground.
Honestly.
You said that they should only distribute new notes through the ATMs. When you said that, you said they must not pay people across the counter new notes. So now, That is assuming that we have enough ATM galleries for everyone in our country. Now, ATM, how many ATM galleries do we have in Nigeria? Just about 20,000 ATM galleries in the whole country. Now, from the beginning, your main module of sharing this money was wrongly thought out, wrongly digested. You made the mistake from the first day. Later on, you now said, okay, now, give people not more than 20,000 across the counter. That is the second leg of our story. Banks are refusing to pay people 20,000. Some will pay. You know, when you first come, they can give you 10,000. Then the more people come in, they start giving people 1 Naira, 1,000, 2,000.
Just to survive.
When we are they'll tell you that there are other people who are waiting. Imagine Theophilus, our own staff here, was given 1,000. It's not fiction.
When we are not at
1,000. You know, how can a CBN governor subject people to all this? Because no one is saying the policy is bad.
Yes, but you see people that stand with Emefiele. I stand with Emefiele and
they don't even know what they're talking about. You do not care about people.
See people on the queue.
No, you see, Nigerians, some people, just because they want to be seen on this side, they mask their pain. A lot of the people you see on social media, they are living a lie. They are living a lie. That's not their true lives. Some of them, they portray themselves as moral giants, but they're actually moral midgets. If you know what they do, you know that these are not people that you should even correlate with. Now, you don't even understand these issues. I've heard someone say, maybe they did it in India. Oh, did you ask what happened in India in 2016 when they did it? Because it should be part of your education. You want to tell Nigerians that they did it in India. Why can't we do it? Tell them also, if you have information, tell them what happened in India when they tried it in 2016. The economy suffered tremendously. For more than 2 years, they didn't recover from it. Nigerians should be told the whole truth. You can't just copy something from somewhere. You need to also copy, you need to also appreciate the pains, what goes with it. So that by the time you want to implement, you now take steps to ensure that that doesn't happen to our people here. But we've not done that. We just wanted to copy India. And at the end of the day, look at where we are now. Eggs on our faces. Emefiele is suddenly seen by many Nigerians as enemy number one.
Yeah.
And I know that there are some politicians who can walk through a thick throng of Nigerians. He's not one of those people who can walk through a thick throng of Nigerians. You won't. You won't try. Because people are angry. You won't try. Now, the banks have been made to look like, they are the ones who are hoarding. But the truth is, the banks do not have enough.
They don't have enough.
They can't be so stupid as to want to risk their own lives. If indeed they had enough. They don't have enough.
All right, we'll take this breather. When we come back, we'll talk more. It's still Journalist Hangout. It's 12 days to 2023 general election. We'll be right back after this time out.
Miss a moment. Instant breaking news from all over the globe. Live streaming of your favorite programs delivered directly to you. Watch anytime from anywhere on your mobile or smart devices. Download the TVC News app today. Available on Google Play and Apple Store.
Politics is defined as getting what, where, when, and how. But in the mix, many things come to play to shape the political fortune of any country.
Honorable Minister, how you misinform the public?
From the political actors to the electorate, campaign to voting, from debates to policy decisions, big events happen to engage us in constant conversation.
That's what we're looking for. Not some people who are talking about ethnicity. No.
Who is on your mind?
Don't worry.
Join me every day on Politics Tonight, where we dissect issues that shape our political destiny. Politics Tonight, weekdays on TVC News.
In the month of February, 4th of February is World Cancer Day. 6th of February is International Day of Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation, while 11th of February is dedicated to women and girls in science. On the 12th of February, it's International Day Against the Use of Child Soldiers, also known as Red Hand Day. On the 20th, it's World Day of Social Justice. By the 24th, it will be 1 year since the Russia-Ukraine war broke out. Stay tuned to TVC News as we bring you in-depth reports and analysis on these events. There is always more to a story than the screaming headline. The part of a story that is not told casts a shadow. It's like the part of an object that is not reached by light. On TVC News, I'm able to explore the many angles there are to a story, talking to stakeholders, asking the difficult questions, and digging for facts. I believe the viewers are able to make a better decision if they're well informed and understand not just the part, but the complete story. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Journalist Hangout on Sunday. So finally, Jide, something should give. Wednesday, the Supreme Court will go into this substantial matter. Where what they had before, it was interlocutory injunction.
Yes, but there are fresh matters being brought. Huh? So there are fresh matters being brought by new states.
So that means the status quo, by Wednesday we know.
The Supreme Court will also respond to the new cases coming from Niger, coming from Ondo. You know, because it's different. Those cases are different to what is verified. And if the Supreme Court wants those cases to be consolidated, it's going to take that decision, that tell their lawyers to consolidate all of those cases so that it can then treat the substantive matter as one.
And they'll give accelerated hearing because the pains, we can't continue like this.
The truth is, where the interest of the ordinary people is concerned, the Supreme Court has an obligation to come in. And as I always say, it's a court of policy, not just the apex court of the land. It's a court of policy, which means that by itself, by pronouncement, it can make law. By its pronouncement, it can make law. So if those old men should not be swayed by what...
No, they've even cautioned those writers, you know, Supreme Court wrote yesterday through its spokesperson that people should be careful about what they say.
And they were referring to the judgment, Machina versus Ahmad, and some other judgment that came recently. But where I'm going is where something directly affects the well-being of the ordinary Nigerian. The Supreme Court has an obligation to step in. And there is no act that can be greater than the Constitution. The CBN Act is not superior to the Constitution. That is a fact. Where there is contention between an act and the Constitution takes preeminence. That is what it is. Well, we are not lawyers, but we've been around long enough to know that this is it. So the Supreme Court has an obligation to stand on the side of the Nigerian people. You know, yes, this matter has been politicized and all that, but that's who we are, you know. But no one can deny that our people are going through
the hardship.
Extreme hardship at this time. No one can deny, from Sokoto to the border with Old Dahomey, people are going through extreme pain.
Wale?
Well, I think there are contentious issues. Like, you know, reputable lawyers have said that even the decision of the CBN contravenes Section 148, subsection 2, which already the subsisting law says that individuals can take as much as 5 million, and corporate organizations can take as much as 10 million. If we don't amend that act of parliament, I don't think the CBN by mere statement can alter, what is in our constitution. And I think there is a growing impression, very popular impression, that, what is going on, that people now describe as a kind of CBN insurrection against the people, might affect the democratic process. And I think it will be a very bad legacy for the CBN current leadership under Governor Emefiele to give the impression that it does not support democratic governance. They should allow, because what people are saying, if you go out and say, this man, they just want to bring, this into politics so that they will not allow the person that should win to win. They want to scuttle the will of the people. That is the general feeling, So it is counterproductive for them because those people that they want to stop are now having public sympathy.
Yes.
It's the same party that is now going to court. So people have now seen clearly that this is not really a party policy, because the same party are challenging, the decision of the CBN. So I think the CBN governor should bother about his name, especially after office. That is more important.
President too.
And the president too.
Because they are taking this decision together. It's not CBN.
What legacy will the president leave behind? After 2 terms in office, what will people say about you?
I'm sure
the best thing people can say is that he conducted a free and fair election. If that does not happen, whatever achievement he has had over the past 8 years will be rubbish.
And he cannot, we always tell the president to live on a high. That's best for him, to live on a high. And a president who has shown interest in the plight of the ordinary man, a president who came in and was paying pensions and all that, trying to solve the problems of poor people. Gave states bailout because he saw that those states were unable to pay. So in fact, the president once said that he wonders how governors who can't pay salary sleep. Now, I like to say, okay, this one is even worse than not paying salary.
I'm telling you.
Because people have money, but they can't even take it. Salaries are paid to public civil servants. There are millions and millions of Nigerians who do not work in the civil service, who do not earn salary.
I'm not forgetting.
But they are going through this.
Not forgetting that.
More Nigerians are going through pain now,
honestly,
than those who did not collect salary at that time. So the president must live up to his reputation as someone who does not like to see people suffer.
Who couldn't remove subsidy because he doesn't want people
to
suffer.
That's what it is. And Governor Rufai said it, that he felt that this thing will inflict pain on the people. He was the only one who said, no, I will not remove it. If you did not want people to suffer, and because of that, you didn't remove subsidy. This one now that has happened under your watch, because Emefiele takes instructions from you, he may have explained to you that it will work. He may have spoken flowery English to you in a way that will work. But before our eyes, we can see a crisis of implementation. We have seen incompetence, crass incompetence demonstrated in its implementation. And you, as our president, you can see the pain that people are facing. Now it's time for the president to step in and say, look, my people have suffered enough, and I don't want this pain to continue. Whoever you want to catch with this, the majority of Nigerians are more important than that person. And seeing the majority of Nigerians in agony should make the president change his mind and say, because I'm not interested in seeing people suffer, this is my decision. Once the president takes that decision, whether Emefiele has autonomy or he does not have it, what the president wants takes preeminence. And those old men at the neck, I think what they said makes sense. They said, look, you have to increase supply.
Council of States.
Yes, increase supply of new notes. Otherwise, recirculate the old notes.
Side by side.
Yes. That's what they said. We cannot at this stage now say they didn't know what they were saying. That was good advice. That was good advice. Because they too also talked about the agony that people are facing. But a section of the media focused on the fact that, oh, they did not oppose the thing. Even me, I do not oppose it. It's the implementation that I have issues with.
And the deadline.
So that's not what we are saying. It's the indecent haste that we are opposed to. So coming out to say, oh, NEC, Next supports this thing. How about other things that they said? They said that it was inflicting pain. They suggested that you should do this, you do that. Why are you not focusing on that? It's just unfortunate what we are going through as a country.
All right.